Hello, welcome to the world's first Magento 2.3 experience webinar. My name is Bartek Szymański. I am a head of software development in Strix company. I am also a certified Magento developer with great knowledge about Magento 2, of course. I am the one of the top contributor in the MSI project, and so winner of Magento Community Spirit Awards 2018, and I am also co-organizer of first Magento Distributed Contribution Day in our company in 2018. Today we'll talk about Magento 2.3 with MSI, of course, on our production. Let's take a quick agenda. First, I like to show you what's new in Magento 2.3, and then we will talk about implementation. First, Magento 2.3 plus MSI for project polska.pl, and we'll talk about maintaining the development version during our development of the software. And last, I show you a quick comparison of version 2.2 and of course 2.3 from our experience and perspective. So, what's new in Magento 2.3? Of course, there are a lot of new features, new modules, and of course, the most important for me, and I think for most of people, is multi-store inventory, MSI. Let's talk about MSI in deeper. MSI allows you to create sources in specific location, such as warehouse and shop windows. This is representation of physical storage in your business. MSI allows you to create stock. We'll talk about it later. And stock aggregation. Of course, you can link created warehouses to the sales channel and give them the prioritization. Of course, there's a source matching algorithm for shipment. And of course, there is ability to ship from multiple locations. You can monitoring your stock updates and sources. You can set up notification of low available and saleable stock in particular warehouses. Of course, you can easily manage and create algorithm extension for own sources and use MSI APIs to update the data related to the sources. Let's take a quick graph how MSI looks like. And I can share you a few story and the backgrounds how MSI can handle stocks in your business. Until now, multi-inventory in Magento was only possible with third-party modules because there was no support from the core. As you know, Magento works with only one general global representation of your quantities. And all available solution on the market was very, very complicated, very complex, hard to maintain. And there was a big challenge to keep compatibility with another models in your Magento 2. So MSI is the answer from Magento to business needs. A lot of questions. Magento had a lot of questions from business side related to multi-warehouses, multi-stocks, and so they decided to move this project to the community. So this is the first big feature that came directly from community. Of course, from developer perspective, this is not only one module. It's a lot of modules that introduce our team, our development, a new way to build extension for Magento. From software perspective, there's a lot of patterns like DDD, like event sourcing. It's a very modern software. Okay, let's back to the business side of the MSI. Of course, you can see sales channel, sources, representation of your inventory, and orders. Because now stock now is separated from global look of your product quantities. From now it's represented from so-called sellable quantity, and thanks to that you can configure back orders, you can configure pre-orders, you can implement many models that can manipulate your stock representation. With MSI, I can say that it was a very important shift that Magento made with MSI, because regarding the way that stock now is handled in Magento totally. So for now you can define any kind of sources, and you can manipulate a lot of number of sources. You can add address, you can add GPS location, postcode, and so on, and match these sources into one virtual aggregated state of quantities. It's so-called stocks, and of course you can create as many as you want stocks and assigned sources to that stocks. In that stocks, the magic happen, because from now quantity is calculated in aggregate way. So simple, this is a sum of all of your quantities in particular sources. Of course, this sellable quantity, it can be differ from real quantity in your sources, because we have another cool feature like a reservation. Reservation in MSI is it's like an event during checkout. From now, we don't decrease quantity in your sources in your warehouse, because from real life, if someone buy, for example, 2 or 3 quantities of particular product, it physically don't change this product quantity. This product quantity can be decreased if shipping happen. So MSI can easily do it because during checkout, there's Magento create a reservation for particular SKU and given quantity, and this can be easily compensated for example, if you cancel order or then reservation compensates this particular quantity. So in the end, the source in your warehouse is different from sellable quantity because sellable quantity takes care about reservation. Of course, if you create shipment, this quantity is decreased in physical warehouse. Okay, we talk about sources, we talk about stock. Maybe we talk a little bit about sales channel. In the very beginning, in MSI, sales channel is represented by website. It's you can choose which stocks is assigned to which website. Of course, you can easily add another sales channel, like, for example, auctions or something like that. Okay, so there is a lot of cool features that comes with MSI. Worth to mention is that from now we have, for example, multi-dimension indexer. So indexation of these stocks is very quick, and that's all. So maybe let's back to our what's new in Magento 2.3. Next things, my personal most favorite is declarative. It's a Declarative DB Schema. Declarative DB Schema is a new way how you can describe your tables in database. In Magento 2.2, you can declare your tables in classes. So after the time, these classes looks awful. It's more complicated. It's long lines, have a lot of lines. It's painful to manage this. And Declarative DB Schema give you an opportunity to describe all of your tables, columns, relation in a simple XML file. Of course, in Magento, you can easily transform all your old scripts or your DB declaration into new XML files. It can be done by one command, and it works. I check it. Yes, it's a great feature. And what's next? We have a lot of modules. New modules like new payment gateway, new indexers, and so on. And another cool feature that comes with 2.3 version is PWA plus GraphQL. Of course, every new and modern software want to have a front end in newest technology. So PWA is an application to take advantage of that modern technology, features, and so on. It can be scaled for many devices, mobile phones, desktops, tablets, and so on. It allows you, thanks to GraphQL, it allows you to caching data and requested only needed data. So GraphQL brings your data. PWA it's responsible for display it to the customer. So we in our new project we don't use PWA, but maybe we will think about it later. And next cool feature is asynchronous API. So, what does it mean? It means that for now, Web API allow you to execute API calls asynchronously. So you don't need to change current implementation if you use Magento API. You can add simple async in your URL, and that's all. It's very simple. Behind this, there's a message queue, RabbitMQ, and this queue it's very fast, and you can process all of the requests in the long term, and you have to only response that you can process it, and Magento allows you to check that our request is processing or maybe have an error or something like that. Of course, this functionality will be available in both Magento Commerce 2.3 and Magento Open Source. So yeah, it's great. Next, it's a page builder. Page builder will be available only on Commerce version on 2.3, and maybe it will be available on Marketplace for open source implementation. This is the most anticipated feature in Magento. It's native CMS. The recent version Magento have own Bluefoot CMS technology, and for now there will be a page builder. It's a revised version of Bluefoot CMS using the same technology. What we can do with page builder, we can include templates, we can create templates, we can drag and drop widgets, products, listing, accordions. We can easily manage layout of our page, and it should be UX friendly and very easy to use for non-technical users. The next feature is the next feature is for example, Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is will be moved from Commerce version to open source version regarding, for example, asynchronous API. But we needed to use asynchronous API, and of course, two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication, it's a very popular in current days system to protect us against malicious users that probably may steal our passwords. So this is great to protect your admin panel from users that they can't have access to our site. And of course, there's a PHP 7.2. This is the first major release that supports all things from PHP 7.2. And during our implementation, if we use our previous version of our internal modules, we take occasion and rewrite all that modules to use PHP 7.2 syntax. Why use PHP 7.2? Because we have to stay on the top and supported technologies. We can use latest language features, and of course, there's more secure than previous version. For example, Lipsodium, and yeah, that's all. And we can go next to our agenda. Why we decide to install version 2.3 before the official release? It's a really good question. I can often hear that question. And for my perspective, maybe a little story of our decision. So when those showed up of our horizon, that we started to think about version Magento we should use. Of course, first type was 2.2, and yeah, but after auditing old platform, we notice that there is plenty of modules that handle multi-warehouse inventory. So this is a small clue to us that maybe we can use 2.3, but this was a day where Magento 2.3 don't have a composer installer. It's a very early alpha version, so we thinking about it more and more and more. We noticed that we have a person, yeah, because I am a part of MSI contribution. So we have a knowledge. We know how MSI looks, how it works. So maybe we have enough knowledge to bring Magento 2.3 to life. That was the main decision. That yeah, we have a knowledge, we have the proper knowledge, we have the proper team, we have the resources, and most main reason still that our clients had already modules for multi-stock manipulation. So MSI will fit perfectly. And yes, we started with very first release, I remember Magento 2.3. It was Alpha 12. That day we only focused on stabilization of so-called happy flow. So we focus on that you can add product to cart. The price is okay. The stocks are okay. And you can easily buy it, and you can manage it on admin panel. And I was very surprised that from first release I can encounter Alpha 12. It works pretty good. Of course, we encounter a couple of bugs, but none of them was blocker issues. So our journey will start. Okay. That's the reason. And goes to the implementation process. Yeah, implementation process, stage, steps, and activities, of course. First, we have to know what our customer needs are. Of course, as usually, customer needs fast, stable platform that can manage a lot of data, that can handle it, that can manipulate it, and it's easy to maintain by non-technical user. Okay, 2.3, yeah, it's everything. We encounter a lot of challenges because for example, we have to deal with a lot of data because maybe the catalog product it's not as very big, but we have 3 websites, we have 54 sources, we have 3 stocks, and we have to take data from ERP system. So in quick calculation, we're talking about up to 2 million stocks that we have to handle of course, in update. So we decided to use a native API Magento REST API and use MSI bulk API to update our database with stocks, with quantities of products. So this is a very big challenge for us because it must be fast. Because when we're talking about such a great number of requests or data, yeah, it must work very fast. So we don't have a lot time to move our development version to production. We are talking about 3 or 4 months to develop complex system that satisfy customer needs. Of course, we have failures too, because after our implementation of ERP and our REST API, it didn't work as we expected. It was pretty slow. Maybe not so slow, but one request took about 1 second. Okay, it's very fast, you can say, but no, at this case, because we have a lot of data, we have to store it as fast as possible. So 1 second, it's not a really good time, believe me. So in the first calculation, the complete update of each product stocks took about 8 to 10 hours. It's quite long. So we have to deal with it, and we decided to keep it as it. We still used Magento API REST, and noticed that that a lot of time cost us indexer during the data update. So we implement a new mechanism that can switch off indexer during the complex update of all stocks in our store, and times decreased twice. So for now, we can process about 2 million stocks for each product in our store in more or less 2 hours. So this is a great number. We are satisfied with that very, very, very much. And How we are maintaining the development version. As I said before, we started with very early release on Magento 2.3 alpha, and of course we were stepped through all the releases during that time. So this is, from my perspective, it was a first project that I update Magento so many times, and it was funny because we, for example, we found a bug and we tried to fix it. We fixed it, and bam, there's a new release version that fixed the same bug. So Magento responds very quickly and deliver us a more stable and bugless system. So we had to decide that every new release on Magento 2.3 version, we should update our application. Of course, we have a lot of our internal modules and external modules in our application. So we should keep as soon as possible all the functionality in that modules, and if some changes from Magento 2.3 occurs, we have to deal with this third-party models. So it was very complicated. It was hard to work with that kind of project, but of course there's for me and for our team, it was we gain a lot of knowledge how Magento looks on the core side, how it works, and what change Magento do in next releases. Yes, it's worth. And we don't have a lot of time because our production, we have our production for about three weeks for now. So we don't have a possibility to check how really performance is in Magento 2.3, but we have a simple data that we can concur in our other systems on Magento 2.2. So in our old graphs, it's a category page. It looks like for now works 2 times faster, and of course the supply product page from our perspective looks almost 2 times faster. Checkout is very similar, but have a slight advantage for 2.3. I think this is because we don't have a locking database update during checkout. And CMS pages, it looks like 1 times faster in 2.2. And I have a great news for performance to Magento 2.3, because tomorrow we did a Gatling stress test on Polska.pl, and it looks great. It's a first project without test that took more than 1.2 seconds. So it's a great result, and I'm very enjoy about it. It's I think that in the future releases it can be much more better. So now is very good. It can be be very, very, very better. Okay, so what next? What will be happen in our 2.3 version Magento in production? Of course, we are waiting for official release, and if we can use it, of course we will use it on production. So we have at least one update before us, one big update. What's next? We still have a possibility to do something related in the performance on our site. I can see a space when we can provide our implementation, and it can be pretty much more faster than now. Our monitor, it's curious, but the average speed of all requests in Magento 2.4, it's about, of course, average is about 200 milliseconds right now. So yes, it's we have quite a lot of traffic right now. So yes, it's a very, very good, very good. Okay, so thank you for my presentation about Magento 2.3, and for now I can share you mic. Maybe there's some question for me. I can answer it right now. So free to ask me anything you want. Okay. So there is no question. So we can move right now to the. Okay, there's a question. Okay, wait a second. Okay. The question is, did you utilize any of the GraphQL endpoints in your store implementation? No, exactly. I'm also take part of GraphQL community. I provide some of pull requests in code. So I use it. Yes, I use it. It's a great feature, but in our production site, we don't use it right now. Maybe later. Yes, maybe. Okay. Another question: did you migrate CMS from Bluefoot to Page Builder? No, not yet. The Page Builder, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but it will be available in the 2.3 in the future releases. So the answer is no. And another question, did you use the tool to migrate setup scripts from Pre 2.3 to declarative style? Yes. We use tool that Magento provide us just to make sure that it works. And for our internal modules or third-party modules, we decided to handle it manually, because it's a great opportunity to learn something new, and we can see how it really works. So we decided to write it all manually. Okay. Did you leverage anything from the PW Studio for your frontend? No. We use the current approach of frontend in Magento. I'm totally backend developer, but yeah, it's a good question that we can use it or we can't. I don't really know right now. Maybe in the future we use it, I think. Okay, and the next question. Did you experience any issues migrating third-party extension from 2.3 to working with 2.3? Yes. We experienced a couple of issues with a couple of our internal modules and our third-party modules. Of course, there's a lot of change in core in Magento. So in the percent comparison I can say it's 50-50 right now. So 50% of our modules works fine with Magento and 50 did not. But already we provide all fixes and it works with Magento 2.3. Okay. Hi there, is there any idea when the stable version will be released? Yes, I think in December there will be a stable version of Magento 2.3. Okay. Did you use the official data migration tool for migrating data from 2.2 to 2.3? No. Exactly, we migrate old platform was on 2.1 Magento, so we migrate data to 2.3. No, we use our tool to migrate all the data. We have a special that handle all the integration between old store and new store. Of course, we have a couple issues with that. For example, serialization it's hard because it's changed. I don't really know which version changed serialization, but yes, we have a problem with serialization in database. So our scripts have to change this serialization. Okay. And also, do you know when Magento 2.3 will be released? As I said, in December. I have a question regarding MSI. Is there any change to see how this model works? Yeah, of course. This is completely open source project, MSI. So you can go to the GitHub. You can manually install it from the source code, or you can use Composer installation. You can use Magento. For now, it's a Magento 2.3 beta. I think 32, where MSI is bundled into it. So you don't have to install it separately. You just install Magento 2.3 in the latest version, and MSI is on the board. Okay. Any other question? I can see you. New question. Oh, okay. There is. Did you find any issues with any of the out-of-the-box automated tests? Also, does 2.3 only offer the MFTF? Yeah, about automated test. Okay. So this is the story about our testing. Yeah, if you are talking about functional test in Magento 2.3, yes, you are talking about MFTF, but also you have acceptance test, you have integration test, you have a web API test, you have a unit test. So there's a lot of out-of-the-box tests. And during my contribution in MSI, I learned that writing tests it's a crucial part of developing a new software. So we decided to follow that rule. And yes, we have a couple issues of tests because we change a lot of things regarding to our business needs. So of course this test started to fail, but yes, we provide our own tests instead of Magento out of the box test. And yeah, but to be honest, we don't use MFTF functional test right now. We have a dedicated team that writes functional tests for us internally. Okay. Have you any experience with MSI on Magento 2.2? Yes, I have. It doesn't work in Magento 2.2 because all of the because of all functionality, it's based on PHP 7.2 syntax. So Magento 2.2 don't support it. Just an update. Okay, Magento 2.3 is still expected to be released this month. Okay, this month. Info from an official source from roughly 1 hour ago. Great, great, thank you. Yes, so answer for question where we have to expect Magento 2.3 is this month. Yeah, it's great. Great news. Thank you. So thank you. Bye.